Established as a mandate of Republic Act 10410 or the Early Years Act of 2013, the Early Childhood Care and Development Council supports the government's integrated and sustainable programs for children ages 0 to 4 years. The ECCD Council is working with the member agencies of its governing board, the Department of Education, or DepEd, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of Health, National Nutrition Council, and the Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, and a private individual ECCD partner, in order to achieve its ultimate goal of a fully functional national ECCD system, guided by their vision. It is the ECCD Council's mission to contribute to nation building by ensuring that all Filipino children aged 0 to 4 are provided with developmentally appropriate experiences to address their holistic needs. The centerpiece of ECCD Council's efforts is the National Child Development Center, a child-friendly facility that serves as the children's first school, serving the communities where they are located. The NCDC offers programs for children and their parents. It also functions as a convergence point for community efforts concerning child development to make education programs truly effective. The ECCD Council has developed a systematized framework and curriculum for early learning and development. Outlined in the curriculum's learning resource packages are the different programs and activities that strengthen and nurture the different domains of development of the child. Implementing these are the ECCD service providers who have gone through the ECCD Council's Human Resource Development programs, designed to train service providers with the suitable knowledge, skills, and values that are necessary in early childhood education. The programs also keep them updated on the latest policies, global trends, and innovations in early childhood care and development. The ECCD Council also continues to advocate for early childhood care and development with advocacy and social mobilization activities that generate awareness, interest, and understanding for the importance of nurturing young children through developmentally appropriate experiences. The Early Childhood Care and Development Council is the country's partner for our children's brighter future. It takes a village to raise a child, and when everyone is involved in their care and development, possibilities can become realities, and the child's full potential can be fulfilled.
The first few years of a child's life are the most crucial for their growth and development. It is the time when the foundations for learning and behaviors are laid, and when the growth and development of the brain and body are at their prime. Infants and toddlers' brains are twice as active as adults, so to make the most out of this period, we need to stimulate them with and expose them to developmentally learning experiences. The Infant-Toddler Early Development Program, or ITED, is designed to nurture and challenge infants and toddlers for their optimum growth and development. Held in a safe and nurturing space, ITED brings together parents and teachers as partners responsible for the development of their children. Teachers provide infants and toddlers with a secure base for exploration, learning, and discovery through developmentally appropriate experiences. While parents, who know their children best and are primarily responsible for their growth and development, reinforce the experiences they have learned. This partnership is guided by the overarching principles of ITED. With family at the core and grounded on strong relationships with family and responsible adults, ITED seeks to create positive emotional experiences in the child's early learning and development, and encourages responsiveness to a child's initiative to explore as these foster learning. Individualized and intentional teaching and care not only benefits the child, but also enriches their early learning experiences. Before parents and their children can participate in an ITED program, parents have to attend an orientation where they learn the importance of brain development, the principles of the ITED program, and the schedule of classes. Parents must understand why they are part of the program and the role they play in ensuring their child's success. The child's progress is regularly assessed using the ECCD checklist Child's Record 1. Results from the assessment are used in planning the program's succeeding activities, which are shared with the parents during the weekly meetings. Teachers show how the activities should be carried out while also evaluating the parents' response to these and to the ITED program as a whole. Every day, ITED classes are held at the center. The 1-hour daily sessions are attended by a maximum of 5 infants or toddlers and their parents, and each day there are different sets of attendees. Today we have the first batch attending the Monday session. When they arrive, the teacher greets and welcomes them to the class. The class begins and everyone sings a song together. Attendance is checked and parents introduce themselves and their children. The teacher asks what activities were done at home during the past week. Parents talk about their experiences and their child's progress. After hearing everyone's experiences from the past week, the teacher tells them what they're going to do for the day's session. Activities per session will vary depending on the needs of the participants and the themes of the current quarter. Every session's highlight is activity time. The teacher uses this routine to coach parents in doing specifically designed activities with their children. Parents are then asked to try the activity out, and the teacher gives feedback so that parents are able to do the activity comfortably at home. Look at the parents and children. Calm music is played while the children are resting. Parents and the teacher meet to share their insights and learnings and what else they can do to improve and apply the activity at home. The teacher also gives activities that can be done at home to enrich the experiences gained from the session. At the end of the hour, the parents and the children pack up their things, singing a song as they go along. The teacher says goodbye to the parents and the infants and toddlers. Parents and their children will return next week for the next activity and meeting with the teacher. It might just be a 1-hour session per week, but the benefits of the ITED program can be long-lasting, especially during a period where infants and toddlers grow at a rapid rate. Parents become more attentive to their needs and more aware of what they can do to address these needs, all of which have an impact on their growth and development. This is the Infant Toddler Early Development Program, brought to you by the Early Childhood Care and Development Council.
Each day is an opportunity to learn, especially when children are at the period when they're developing rapidly. Their bodies are growing and their brains are receptive and eager to learn. At age 3, children are curious about the world around them, asking questions and wondering how things work. To foster these qualities and to feed their hunger for knowledge, while also encouraging play, socialization, and early learning and readiness, the Early Childhood Care and Development Council developed the Pre-Kindergarten program. The Pre-Kindergarten 1 program is designed for children aged 3 years to 3 years and 11 months old, and is aligned with the Department of Education's kindergarten themes, ensuring for a smooth transition to the kindergarten level. Similar to the ITED program, teachers and parents are allies in children's growth and development. Parents are given an orientation so they can understand their role in the Pre-K1 program. Children are regularly assessed using the ECCD checklist, where the information from the assessment is used to plan how and what to teach the children. The Pre-K1 program is developed with children's needs in mind, where a typical day consistently follows a set routine, so that children can predict what will happen next, to allow them to feel secure and at ease, but is flexible enough to adapt to the different demands of the children and the circumstances happening throughout the day. The Pre-K1 program has a system that consists of curriculum standards, competencies, and growth and development indicators that help in the development of the children.
There's no stopping children from growing up. The best we can do is to support their brain and body development with the right care and nurturing. At 4 years old, the child is ready for new and enriching experiences where they can test their boundaries and learn more about what's around them. They need to be challenged mentally, physically, and emotionally, especially as they prepare to transition to kindergarten when they turn 5 years old. The Early Childhood Care and Development Council's Pre-Kindergarten 2 program helps the child be kindergarten ready with their developmentally appropriate activities and routines that establish the foundation of skills needed later on in life. Aside from pre-literacy skills that prepare the child for reading and writing, the Pre-K2 program encourages children aged 4 years to 4 years and 11 months old to become more confident, to be more independent, and solve simple problems. They are urged to be more independent, supported by a consistent but flexible daily routine marked by various activities. Parents and teachers remain partners in the child's growth and development, with parents participating in an orientation so that they understand their role in the Pre-K2 program. Children are assessed regularly with the help of the ECCD checklist, and the results of the assessment are used to design and implement activities in class. The Pre-K2 class follows a similar routine as the Pre-K1, with activities that change depending on the children's interests.
A Pre-K1 day begins when the children arrive at the National Child Development Center. During this time, the children are free to play and interact with each other, but only after putting away their belongings in the proper places. Children then put their toys away when the teacher calls them for meeting time. At the teacher's signal, the children gather around to pray and sing a welcome song. They also sing other songs for the rest of meeting time. It's also the time when they check the weather, the day, and the date.
Before singing another set of songs to transition to activity time. Depending on the theme and sub-themes of the quarter, the teacher introduces the day's activity. It could be learning how to bake, or getting to know the different shapes of objects and the alphabet, or drawing and coloring the different shapes of leaves and flowers of plants that they find during outdoor time.
The activity time can be blended with the outdoor playtime, depending on the planned activities. Sometimes, the outdoor playtime is simply letting the children run around and play with each other. When outdoor playtime is over, the teacher calls the attention of the children, telling them that it's snack time. Children line up, they wait for their turn to wash their hands. Snacks are distributed to the children. They are encouraged to socialize with each other and to clean up after themselves. Snack time is also another opportunity for other experiences, such as sharing with each other and trying out different kinds of food.
The class settles down for rest time, where the children take a nap or quietly read a book. When they wake up, the teacher tells them to gather around in a circle for circle time. They sing, dance, play, and interact with each other. And after all the fun they've had, they move on to story time, where the class listens to the teacher read from a book. To make sure that the children are paying attention, the teacher asks questions and encourages them to share their thoughts and ideas about the story. As dismissal time approaches, the teacher says goodbye to the children. She checks in with them, asking about the day's activities and what they learned. The children then put away their things and tidy up the classroom, singing as they go along.
When the parents arrive to bring the children home, the teacher waves and says goodbye. In the time that the children are together in the pre-K1 class, participating in activities, interacting with each other, they learn to enjoy playing and exploring the world around them with children their own age. Their curiosity and readiness to learn are also nurtured, setting down the foundations for an exciting future of learning and discovery.
Through the process of exposing children to different experiences where they learn developmentally appropriate skills, the Pre-K2 program prepares them for the different challenges of kindergarten, from the physical to cognitive and socio-emotional, so that their journey to become well-rounded and well-adjusted individuals starts off on the right foot, ready to fulfill their potential, ready to become the best that they can be. This is the Pre-Kindergarten 2 program, brought to you by the Early Childhood Care and Development Council.
Kasama mo ang ECCD Council. Mag-aral, maglaro at lumaki. Tuklasin natin ang pag-alaga ng batang minamahal ng pamilya. Kasama mo ang ECCD Council.
Isang napakagandang araw po sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin ngayon sa Facebook Live and YouTube channel. Kamusta po kayo? Medyo matagal na rin mula nung nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong kwentuhan. At ngayon, may makakasama akong umaga. Kamusta ka naman, Miss Barbie?
Uy, Carl, kamusta ka naman? Mabuti naman ako. At oo nga, ang tagal na nung huling episode ng Kwentuhang Bulilit. Buti naman at magkakasama uli tayo para makapagkwentuhan uli.
Pero Miss Barbs, itong episode na to, special episode siya ng KB kasi meron tayong sineselebrate. And alam mo ba kung ano yung sineselebrate natin
Siyempre
ngayon?
naman, Carl! Dahil noong linggo, naglabas tayo ng announcement tungkol sa special episode ng ating Kwentuhang Bulilit. Dahil sa taong ito, ipinagdiriwang natin ang 10th year anniversary ng pagpasa ng Republic Act 10410 or Early Years Act of 2013 o tinatawag din nating EYA. Carl, anong special sa araw na to?
Dahil nga ipinagdiriwang natin yung ika-10 anibersaryo ng pagkakatatag or pagkakapasa ng Early Years Act, maganda na ang mapagkwentuhan nga natin ngayon, ano nga ba yung pinagdaanan at sino ba yung mga naging bahagi para maipasa ito. Di ba kasama ka doon sa mga yun?
Carl, hindi. Pero may makakasama tayo na tumulong sa pagbuo ng RA 10410.
Yes, at ang iba dyan, makakakwentuhan natin ngayong araw. So, wag na nating patagalin to, Miss Barbs.
Yes.
Simulan na natin ang kwentuhan.
Yes, let's go! Welcome po sa special episode ng 10th year anniversary ng EYA na may temang Isang Dekadang Pagsulong sa Dekalidad na Serbisyo para sa Batang Pilipino.
And to start, we invited some of the staff from the ECCD Council Office para makakwentuhan natin. Kilalanin po natin sila at kung ano yung kanilang mga position and designation in the office.
Hello, magandang araw. Ako si Rosalie Macalalad, Budget Officer po ng ECCD Council.
Hi, I'm Rizalita Yabut, nakilala po sa tawag na BB, Admin Assistant 4 po ng ECCD.
Hi! Ako naman si Mary Ann Arroyo, kilala bilang Mean dito sa office, and kasalukuyang ako po ang Executive Assistant 5 and concurrently as Cashier of the agency.
Sige, simulan natin kay Miss Rosa. Miss Rosa, gaano ka nakatagal sa ECCD Council at paano ka napasama sa office?
Napunta po ako sa ECCD Council simula po nung 2009. Kung bibilangin po, 14 na taon na po ako dito. Nagsimula po ako sa Council for the Welfare of Children.
14 years na po ako sa ECCD Council at na-involved naman po ako dito dahil naghanap po si Senator Tessie Oreta ng kanyang parang assistant at nirecommend naman po ako nung aking decipher.
I've been with the council for 14 years. Nagsimula po ako dito nung nasa CWC pa lang ang ECCD program. So, nung nag-create na ng ECCD Council, karamihan po sa mga staff na naka-charge sa ECCD program ay nalipat sa ECCD Council. So, yun po yung naging dahilan kung bakit po kami napupunta sa ECCD Council.
And since isa nga po kayo sa mga nauna dito sa ECCD office, can you share to us yung inyong mga most memorable experiences?
Siguro ang masasabi ko na memorable experiences ko sa ECCD Council, bali nagsimula ako as finance officer. Sa finance officer, medyo nasa loob lang kasi ako ng office noon. Pero mula nung naging budget officer ako, nakakasalamuha ko na din yung iba't ibang kasamahan natin sa ibang agency. Especially pag nagbabudget hearing kami, nakakapunta ako sa Congress, nakakapasok din ako sa Senate, at saka nung naging budget officer din ako, nakaka-attend na din ako ng iba't ibang training na ibinibigay ng AGIA, ng PAGBA, CSC, at saka ng PhilJeps. At nakakapag-travel din po ako dahil sa mga iba't ibang training na ibinibigay ng ECCD Council. Nag-a-assist po kami sa iba't ibang participants na umaattend ng training, nagbibigay kami ng mga reimbursement. Medyo marami din po ako nakikilala at nakakasalamuha na mga taga-LGUs.
Sa 14 years na pag-stay ko sa ECCD, na ang unang naging boss ko ay si Ma'am Senator Teresa Aquino Oreta. Talagang ang saya-saya. Siyempre, imagine mo kung sino-sino yung na-meet ko, na matataas na tao, presidents, senators, governors, at kung sino-sino pa. At sa dami ng mga nakasama ko sa ECCD, iba-ibang personalidad, iba-ibang mga tao, at lahat naman sila minahal ko. Yun, tapos naka-attend ako ng mga trainees, teachers, educators, mga induction na yan. Yun yung napakagandang experience din sa akin. Kasi pumasok ako sa ECCD na napaka-blanco talaga ng isip ko. Na yun pala, ang ECCD, ang kinikater niya talaga ay yung tungkol sa bata. Na para ang bata ay magkaroon ng magandang kinabukasan. Tapos dun ko na-realize na malaking tulong ang ECCD sa atin, lalo na sa mga kabataan na tinuturuan nila, nino-nurture nila. Yun. Na-apply ko yun sa aking pamilya, lalo na po sa aking apo, na ituro ko po kung ano yung natutunan ko sa ECCD. Yun lang po.
Ang memorable experience ko with the ECCD Council is marami po kaming napuntahan dito sa Pilipinas dahil sa mga trainings na kinoconduct natin with the LGUs. So, dahil doon, marami po kami nakikilala, matataas na tao, ang mga daycare workers, yan, tsaka yung mga stakeholders natin with the ECCD. Marami rin kaming na-attenan na trainings para sa personal development naman namin dahil pinapadala po kami ng ahensya para sa mga trainings para po ma-develop nga po ang aming personality at ang aming profession dito sa ECCD Council. Marami rin po kami nakilalang mga mayors, governors, mga head of the agencies na hindi namin inaakalang mamimit namin. Pero dahil sa ECCD Council yun, nagkaroon kami ng opportunity para makilala silang lahat. And also, dahil din po sa ECCD Council, lumawak po yung aking mga network. I mean, hindi lang po network by profession, kung hindi nagiging kaibigan din po namin ang mga taong nakikilala namin. So, for 14 years, sila pa rin po yung mga taong nakakasama namin sa paggawa namin ng aming trabaho dito sa agency.
If you have one word or phrase to describe the ECCD Council, ano ito at bakit?
One word na madi-describe ko sa ECCD Council ay challenging but happy.
One word to describe ECCD Council is proud. Batang Pilipino, batang may bukas, kaya suportahan po natin ang ECCD dahil sa ECCD, ang ating mga kabataan ay may kinabukasan. Approve!
Life here in ECCD Council is very fulfilling. And here, we are family.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikipagkwentuhan sa amin. And do you have any parting message?
Pwede bang isa na lang ang message naming tatlo? Happy Anniversary, Early Years Act!
At this time, we will hear stories about the development of RA 10 for 10. And we have with us the former Executive Director of the ECCD Council, Dr. Teresita G. Insyong. Dr. Insyong, there were already previous laws on early childhood before RA 10 for 10. How did the law get enacted?
If you remember, Teacher Barb, we started in 1964 with the ECCD or the preschool education is just a project of the UNICEF with the Social Welfare Administration then. Then in 1978, there was an issue, the presidential decree by the President Marcos then, which calls for the establishment of daycare centers in every barangay. And then in 1987, post-martial law, there was this comprehensive law on the development of children. But in 1991, there was the great changes in the management of the local government because the local government code was passed. And then in 2000, there was the first law which calls for the total development of the children and the development of a system. But after almost a decade, in 2009, the president then was Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. She calls for the review of the law which provides for the preschool education. And it was found out in that review that there is a lack of sufficient focus on the 0 to 4, and having in mind that all the global focus on ECCD, then this review reveals that actually we needed to improve on that. Subsequently, the President, Macapagal-Arroyo, issued 2 executive orders. One is to attach the ECCD under the Office of the President, and then the second one is that to be reconfirming the functions and roles of the Council for the Welfare of Children, of which the previous ECCD is attached. And then in 2010, there was a change of administration. And then the Congress then, the previous Congress of that particular area, they have come up with a bill on this Early Years Act. And it was a long process, but immediately after, on March 26, 2013, the Early Years Act was enacted.
Dr. Insyong, what are the key provisions in RA 10 for 10 that made the greatest impact in our local communities now?
Well, there are many. One, we have focused on the 0 to 4 because the 0 to 4, the early childhood in that law is intended for 0 to 8. But the 0 to 4 is mandated to the ECCD Council, Early Childhood Care and Development. And the 5 years old to 8 years old is, of course, the responsibility of the department. That's one, basically. Another one is that, so before one decade, or rather 5 decades ago, the early childhood care and development is focused only on 3 to 4. That's why even now we have a lot of advocacy so that parents will bring in children 0 to 2. That's one. Another one is the inclusion of private learning centers. Not all of the learning centers in private are all high-end. Of course, there are so many. It varies from region to region, towns and cities. That's one. Another one is that we already have significant materials, like we have the curriculum, which was reviewed by the UNICEF, and they said that this is good. In fact, it's considered one of the best in Southeast Asia. Another thing, there is a quality assurance that has been crafted by several experts in early childhood education, from the academe, the practitioners, and the stakeholders. So this is the guidelines for the registration, recognition, and accreditation for early childhood education.
Looking back, what were some obstacles or challenges that you had to overcome in the implementation of RA 10 for 10?
So this law recognizes also the parents as the first teachers, okay? So we have to collaborate with the parents. And therefore, it's very important that we have a very strong parent education. But not all parents are, they are working parents, and they have enough time to help us. Two, there is actually a low priority for ECCD. When we started, it is an uphill climb. And there is a low priority because it is conflicting or competing with other priorities. So the investment of the local government has yet to be increased. It is not necessary that they will zero in on, but they zero in on 0 to 4, but for all children. That's true. And then challenges also is we have almost or more than 50,000 child development workers and teachers, and not all of them are in education. 50% of them, as research, are graduate of college, but not necessarily in education. So 30% are undergraduate, again, not really in education. But the rest are not even college graduate. So we have the law mandates the ECCD to professionalize the teachers, okay? So the other one is the collaboration. It is multi-sectoral because now we have provision for early childhood education. It is a comprehensive and integrated services in health, nutrition, early education, and psychosocial development program.
Dr. Insyong, what are the key provisions in RA 10 for 10 that made the greatest impact in our local communities now?
I think to answer that, we will have to go back to the collaboration, because right now, right here, the impact on the local government is so great that they have improved actually the provision of early childhood education. For one, before as I mentioned earlier, they are only bringing the kids to the center when they're already 3 and 4. But Heckman says that is a little too late because the child's development or the brain development of the child is happening very spontaneously and rapid during the 0 to 4 years old. And if we do not provide them with services when they are already 4 years old, then 90% of their brain has already been developed. That's one. Number two, actually, is the integrated services. We now focus, by mandate of the law, on the health, nutrition, early education, and psychosocial services. And we have engaged actually the health department, the National Nutrition Council, and the social welfare development officers in that. Of course, the ULAP, the Union of Local Authority of the Philippines, make sure that all the local governments are implementing the new landscape or early childhood education. Okay?
So how does the ECCD Council ensure the implementation of RA 10 for 10?
Well, there is a lot of collaboration. And I think we also involve the community. For one thing, this is the first time that we also, well, not the first time, but way back 2014, 15, upon passage of the law, we already conducted several advocacy programs to be able to determine or to be able to harness the support of the community. That's one. The other one is we also connect with other organizations. We harness the support of the local and international organization which focuses on early childhood education, because together we are strong in the provision. Please note that we always advocate that investing in the ECCD is investing in the future. If we provide quality preschool education, early childhood education, there is no reason why we cannot improve our education in the basic education.
Okay. Dr. Insyong, is there anything else you would like to add or any message you would like to say?
I think we need more the support of the parents, because even at home they will be able to start the early learning, like at least when one of the former senators is always saying that isang yakap lang ay may kahulugan na sa bata. That's one. And we also advocate the first 1,000 days for the child, especially breastfeeding. And then we also advocate that the barangay will be able to support us in all of this. So also we would also encourage and motivate the local government to improve their investment, because this is your own constituent, and these are the future generation of your local government. So naniniwala po kami na ang batang Pilipino ay batang may bukas.
Dr. Insyong, thank you for sharing your stories, your experiences, and thank you for joining us in this special episode of Kwentuhang Bulilit.
Maraming salamat po rin.
Yan. This morning po, we are so privileged kasi isa sa makakakwentuhan natin ngayon ay ang OIC to the Office of the Vice Chairperson and Executive Director, our very own Mr. Romel J. Isip. Sir, good morning po.
Magandang umaga, Carl.
Ayan sir, kasi syempre mahaba na itong, marami na pinagkikwentuhan. Pero ngayon sir, ang tanong natin, you being the OIC and part of the ECCD Council, ano yung masasabi mo na may pagmamalaki mo na naging programa natin na nagbigay talaga ng impact, malaking impact doon sa pagpapatupad ng mga siguro na maganda yung serbisyo na binibigay natin sa ating mga bata?
Oh, thank you, Carl, sa tanong mong yan. Una sa lahat, bumabati ako ng maligayang 10 taon kaarawan sa ating batas. Tungkol sa katanungan mo, Carl, na ano yung isa sa iba ipagmamalaki ng ECCD Council na naging magandang programa natin na nakapagbigay ng malaking impact o epekto sa kalidad ng serbisyo para sa batang Pilipino. Ito yung unang-una sa lahat, ito yung tinatawag na pagbibigay natin ng modelong center, or kung tawagin natin National Child Development Center sa bawat munisipyo at syudad. Ito ay nakonsepto para maging modelo o pangunahing center para sa mga kabataang nag-iedad 0 hanggang 4 na taong gulang. Okay? Dito ipinapakita yung mga programa na na-develop ng ECCD Council para sa kabataan at gayon din para sa suportahan yung mga pamilya nila, yung mga magulang. So ang NCDC ang lugar kung saan maipapakita lahat ang mga magagandang programa para sa pinagsama-samang serbisyo para sa kabataang nag-iedad 0 hanggang 4 na taong gulang. Actually, laboratorio din to para sa pagsasaliksik ng makabagong idea sa programa ng naaayon sa edad ng mga kabataan. At dito rin natin gagawin o patuloy na pag-aaralan ng ating mga child development workers ang mga programa, paano i-develop to, dito natin sila bibigyan ng training. At dito rin gagawin ang patuloy na pag-aaral ng ating mga child development workers at child development teachers. Dito rin gagawin ang pagtulong natin sa mga magulang para sa kanilang karagdagang kaalaman patungkol sa tamang pagpapalaki ng kanilang mga anak na nag-iedad 0 hanggang 4 na taong gulang. Isa rin sa pinagmamalaki natin yung kasama nitong package na binibigay natin sa mga partner na ating munisipyo at syudad. Dito, magbibigyan natin ng malawak na kaalaman ang ating mga service provider o yung child development workers and child development teacher. Ito is part of the package na sinasabi na kapag meron kang building, bibigyan ka namin ng suportang edukasyon para sa inyong mga service provider. Nagbibigay tayo ng series of orientation and training para sa dagdag kaalaman at tamang paraan ng pagpapatupad ng ating programa.
So sir, masasabi talaga natin na ang ganda nung naging impact ng ECCD kasi talagang in-enhance niya yung program talaga ng early childhood, particularly sa local government unit. And since sir, nasimulan na natin to with the 10 years, ano pa yung mga plano natin para masiguro natin na yung pagpapatupad natin, nararanasan talaga nila yung dekalidad na serbisyo, lalong-lalo na yung mga batang Pilipino?
Okay, unang-una dyan, Carl, yung tinatawag nating ipagpapatuloy natin yung pag-i-establish ng National Child Development Center. Kasi sa ngayon, halos kalahati pa lang yung nakukuha natin, nabibigyan natin ng model center. Gustuin man natin, pero sa kakulangan ng budget, kailangan pa natin ipagpatuloy yung ating nasimulan na pagbibigay ng modelong center. Okay? So, ipagpapatuloy din natin yung pagko-convert ng daycare center to child development center. Kailangan ito para nang sa gayon, may patupad natin sa mga lahat ng center, hindi lang doon sa NCDC, but doon sa nauna pang child development center na maibigay natin o maipatupad yung mga programa alinsunod sa makabagong curriculum. Ipagpapatuloy din natin yung ipagpapatuloy at palalakasin ang programa para sa advokasya upang sa gayon mas maraming makaalam patungkol sa council at saka yung programa na ipinapatupad natin. Ano ba talaga yung mga programa to? Gusto natin ibigay lahat sa kanila yan through our advocacy. No? Ipagpapatuloy din natin ang pagbibigay ng mga pulisiya para sa mas ikagaganda at maayos na pagpapatupad ng mga programa para sa batang Pilipino.
So, for this year pala, sir, and yung mga coming years, madami pa talagang plan
Madami.
na nakalatag ang ECCD Council to really improve saka talagang magkaroon ng impact yung ating programa na maramdaman talaga sa baba. So, sir, siguro ano yung message or challenge sa mga nakakapanood sa atin na gusto mong ibahagi ngayon, sir?
Okay, marami na po ang ating nagawa. No? Para sa atin, marami na ating nagawa. Malayo na rin ang ating narating. Upang maisulong ang dekalidad na serbisyo para sa ating mamamayan, lalo-lalo na sa mga kabataang Pilipino nag-iedad 0 hanggang 4 na taong gulang. Ngunit marami pa po ang dapat maisalang-alang para masiguro ang matibay na pundasyon ng mga bata tungo sa kanilang magandang kinabukasan. Ang gawain ito ay hindi po kakayanin ng konseho lamang. Malaki po ang magiging bahagi ninyo bilang kasapi ng lipunan. At lahat ng ating mga child development workers, teacher, local chief executive, local official na responsable sa mga kalusugan, nutrisyon, early education, and social services, mga international and national stakeholder and partners, both from public and private, at lalong-lalo na sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Sama-sama po tayo at tulong-tulong na isulong ang dekalidad na serbisyo para sa lahat ng batang Pilipino. Okay? Maraming salamat po.
And thank you very much, Sir Romel, and hopefully talagang dun sa panawagan nyo, magkatulong-tulong talaga tayo para maging maganda talagang service natin for our Filipino children. Again, sir, thank you very much sa pakikipagkwentuhan.
Thank you. Maraming salamat, Carl, at maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Assalamualaikum. Madayaw ug maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Allow me to extend my warmest greetings and sincere appreciation to the ECCD Governing Board, ECCD Council OIC Vice Chairperson and Executive Director Romel Isip, our counterparts from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of Health, the National Nutrition Council, and the Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, our volunteer teachers, parents, and all the stakeholders of early childhood care and development in the Philippines. Congratulations on the 10th year anniversary of the enactment of Republic Act 10410, also known as the Early Years Act of 2013, which mandates the ECCD Council to implement the national ECCD system that is comprehensive, integrative, and sustainable, designed to promote and support the holistic development of Filipino children aged 0 to 4. Thank you for developing policies and programs, providing technical assistance and support to ECCD service providers, and monitoring ECCD service benefits and outcomes. It is the policy of the Philippine government to promote the rights of children to survival, development, and special protection with full recognition of the nature of childhood, as well as the provision of developmentally appropriate experiences to address their needs. Children's early years from 0 to 8 are widely recognized as the first crucial stage of their educational development, of which the ECCD Council is responsible for the first 4 years, while the accountability to develop children in their formative years between age 5 to 8 shall be with us in the Department of Education. Therefore, it is imperative that we ensure our young children's adequate preparation for the formal learning system that begins at kindergarten, and this calls for an active and responsive multisectoral and interagency collaboration at the national and local levels, especially on the provision of continuing professional development program support, supplementary learning and reference materials, supplemental nutrition, and healthcare services. Our government is committed to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal for inclusive and equitable quality education for all children. And for that, I acknowledge the emerging role of ECCD in molding the Filipino child as Batang Pilipino, Batang May Bukas. Together, let us ensure the seamless transition between our pre-kindergarten and kindergarten programs and the continued interfacing and evaluation of the alignment and focus of our curriculum. Patuloy tayong magtulungan sa pagsusulong ng dekalidad na edukasyon sa ating mga mahal na kabataan. Lahat para sa Diyos, sa bayan, at sa pamilyang Pilipino. Syukran.
To the officials and staff of the Early Childhood Care and Development Council, led by Officer in Charge Romel Isip, a pleasant day to all. I am pleased to join the ECCD Council on the 10th anniversary celebration of the enactment of Republic Act 1041, or the Early Years Act of 2013. For this year, the theme of the celebration is Isang Dekadang Pagsulong sa Dekadad na Serbisyo para sa Batang Pilipino. It highlights the need to continue to improve our delivery of quality programs and services to young Filipino children. As one of the council members of the ECCD, the Department of Social Welfare and Development expresses its full support to the council and the goal of the celebration. To prioritize the holistic growth of young children, this includes providing young Filipino children with the necessary interventions on health, nutrition, social protection, and education so that the overall development will remain on track. Early childhood education is one of the significant foundations in the lifelong journey of children. At this stage, young children start to develop their interests, learn basic emotional, social, and cognitive skills, and socialize by forming relationships outside their immediate families. Hence, it is imperative that we create a nurturing and enabling environment for these young children to grow. As duty bearers, we have the responsibility to ensure their emotional, social, cognitive, and physical needs are adequately met. One of the ways we can do this is by strengthening our partnerships with stakeholders and local government units to guarantee that children get adequate nutrition and have access to quality preschool education. Specifically, to ensure the supplementary feeding program of the department is efficiently implemented as a department support to the ECCD program. Likewise, I would like to emphasize the need to help poor parents find sustainable means of livelihood and employment in order for them to support their children's needs. For us in the DSWD, we will continue to strengthen the monitoring and provision of technical assistance to ensure that child development centers and child development workers are delivering quality services for children that are within the standards set by the department. Once again, congratulations to the ECCD. Let us continue to work hand in hand to provide efficient and effective programs and services for the best interest of all Filipino children. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang ECCD.
To the members of the ECCD Governing Board and to our OIC Executive Director Attorney Romel Isip, to all my co-parents, child care workers, and child welfare advocates, as well as my colleagues in the local government service, and to all other participants from various parts of the country, isang makabatang araw po sa ating lahat. Education is the foundation for our children's better future. By addressing their learning needs, we can enable them to realize their fullest potential and effect positive change in our world. Investing in their education will now ensure that they are equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary to make meaningful contributions to our society in the future. Today, I am very much honored and delighted to be part of this activity of the ECCD Council to celebrate the 10th year anniversary of the Early Years Act of 2013, which provides for the establishment of a comprehensive system of early childhood care and development services for Filipino citizens aged 0 to 8. When children are given the chance to learn from a young age, it prepares them for the challenges of adulthood and helps them develop the cognitive, social, and emotional skills that they will need to navigate their future. This year, we are guided by the theme, Isang Dekadang Pagsulong sa Dekalidad na Serbisyo para sa Batang Pilipino, placing an emphasis on the need for our continuous efforts to ensure that the rights of every child are upheld and protected. Young children are the future of our society, and it is our duty to provide them with the right interventions and resources so they can develop the requisite skills to succeed in life and become productive citizens of this great nation. Education is central to this endeavor as it acts as a foundation for our children to develop their understanding of the world, which helps them to become more conscious and compassionate members of our society. Addressing the learning needs of our young children can also further help them develop a strong sense of identity and much-needed self-esteem. It can give our children the confidence that they need to explore their interests and take on new challenges in life. This will help foster creativity and critical thinking skills, which are essential not just for their personal development, but I believe also crucial for our nation's progress. On behalf of your Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, or ULAP, which is the umbrella organization of all leagues of LGUs, namely provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, as well as the local officials in the country, and as a member of the ECCD Council and Governing Board, I cannot overemphasize enough the need for us to come together and provide a holistic approach to early childhood development, focusing on education but also taking into consideration the physical, cognitive, socio-economical, socio-emotional, and moral development of every Filipino child. It is our duty to provide our children with early learning and development programs that are age-appropriate, gender-fair, sensitive to diverse cultures, and where they may be sheltered with the love and care of family and community. Rest assured po that your ULAP is your active partner in ensuring that this trust is adopted and implemented in our local communities. Sama-sama po nating harapin ang bawat hamon sa paglikha ng isang komunidad na magtataguyod sa magandang kinabukasan para sa ating mga anak. It is my hope that through our commitment and dedication, we can ensure that our children and the next generation will enjoy a brighter and better Philippines. Maraming salamat po. Ako po si Dax Kua mula sa ULAP. Bumabating mabuhay sa ating lahat.
It is my pleasure and honor to congratulate the Early Childhood Development Council or ECCD during this 10th year anniversary celebration of the enactment of RA 10410 or the Early Years Act of 2013. You had been consistently pushing and developing impressive programs that will benefit our Filipino children from 0 to 8 years old under the banner entitled Batang Pilipino, Batang Bukas. Your work is truly appreciated. Our children are the most important assets of our nation. More than ever, with the many problems our fast-changing world our children are subjected to, ECCD must take the lead strongly to promote the rights of children to survival, human development, and special protection with full recognition of the nature of childhood. There is a lot of noise and turmoil in the children's surroundings, like the influence of the digital technology, exposing them to human trafficking and sexual exploitation. The effects of natural disasters causing various traumas, drastic changing family values which erode family life, and in extreme cases, their abandonment. Extreme poverty which hampers the human development of children, and recently, the horrible effect of the COVID pandemic, which created tremendous learning loss and poor social development. These issues are overwhelming even for adults, more so for the children. It is imperative, therefore, that ECCD carries the voices of the children. They must be protected and well taken care of so they can reach their optimum potential. Keep up the good work, ECCD. The Filipino children are all smiles and praying for you. Mabuhay! Long live ECCD!
Maraming salamat po to the officer in charge, to the Office of the Vice Chairperson and Executive Director, Mr. Romel J. Isip, at sa lahat po na nakakwentuhan natin ngayong araw. Malayo na nga po ang narating ng pagsusulong ng ECCD program in the Philippines. Pero marami pa ang ating pagtutulong-tulungan at pagsasama-samahan upang mapaganda ang ECCD sa ating bansa. Muli, isang maligayang selebrasyon ng ika-10 anibersaryo ng Early Years Act of 2013 na may temang Isang Dekadang Pagsulong sa Dekalidad na Serbisyo para sa Batang Pilipino. Paalam!
Learn, play, grow with the ECCD Council, guiding us through the early years. Help us know what is best for our children as we raise our family.
The first 4 years of a child are special in every way.
Yeah,